For over half a century, the United Kingdom has relied on a very specific and very powerful form of defense. This is its nuclear deterrent. It is a force designed not for fighting wars, but for preventing them from ever starting. The idea is simple but profound. Any potential enemy must know that an attack on the UK would result in their own unacceptable destruction. This principle, known as mutually assured destruction, has been a cornerstone of global security since the Cold War. It is really the ultimate insurance policy in a world that can be unpredictable and dangerous. The UK's commitment to this has been unwavering, a silent promise of overwhelming retaliation that has kept the peace for generations. The heart of this deterrent is hidden deep beneath the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. It is a fleet of 4 Vanguard-class submarines. At any given moment, one of these incredible machines is on patrol, silent and unseen, carrying Trident 2D5 ballistic missiles. This is what we call the Continuous At-Sea Deterrent, or CASD. It is a promise that no matter what happens on land or in the air, the UK will always have the ability to strike back. These submarines are the nation's guardians, their locations a closely guarded secret, their mission one of constant readiness. They represent the sole pillar of Britain's nuclear power, a single, formidable and highly effective line of defence. This reliance on a single system has served the UK well for decades. The Vanguard submarines are marvels of engineering, capable of remaining submerged for months at a time. Their stealth makes them almost impossible to track, ensuring their survival, even in the event of a surprise attack on the British mainland. This survivability is the key to a credible deterrent. If an aggressor believes they can eliminate your ability to respond, the deterrent fails. The silent, constant presence of a Vanguard submarine somewhere in the vastness of the ocean ensures that this can never happen. It is a powerful symbol of national sovereignty and a testament to British technological prowess. However, the world is changing. The certainties of the Cold War have given way to a more complex and volatile international landscape. Relying on a single method of nuclear delivery, no matter how robust, is now being questioned. What if new technologies emerge that could threaten the stealth of submarines? What if a political or technical crisis temporarily grounds the fleet? These are the questions that military planners in London are now asking. The story of Britain's nuclear deterrent is not a static one. It is a story that must evolve to meet the challenges of a new age, ensuring the nation's ultimate defense remains secure for the future. Wow. The strategic landscape of Europe has been dramatically reshaped in recent years, largely due to the actions of Russia. The full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 was a seismic event, but it was also the culmination of a longer-term trend of increasing aggression. Alongside conventional warfare, Moscow has become more and more willing to use its nuclear arsenal as a tool of intimidation and coercion. Russian officials have repeatedly made thinly veiled threats about the potential use of nuclear weapons, a tactic designed to deter Western support for Ukraine and to create fear and division within the NATO alliance. This is a dangerous departure from the more restrained nuclear rhetoric of the post-Cold War era. We have seen this nuclear saber-rattling take concrete form. In 2023, Russia took the step of moving some of its tactical nuclear weapons into neighboring Belarus. This was the first time since the fall of the Soviet Union that it had stationed such weapons outside its own borders. The move was a clear strategic message, placing nuclear arms closer to the heart of Europe and lowering the threshold for their potential use in a regional conflict. It is actions like these, combined with frequent and large-scale nuclear exercises, that have put defense ministries across the West on high alert. The threat is no longer theoretical, it is tangible and growing. This aggressive posture forces the UK and its allies to re-evaluate their own defensive capabilities. The nature of the threat has evolved from a large-scale, all-out nuclear exchange to something more nuanced and perhaps more likely, the limited use of a smaller tactical nuclear weapon to achieve a specific battlefield objective or to force a political capitulation. This creates a new and complex challenge for deterrence. An adversary might believe they can use a smaller nuclear weapon without triggering a full-scale strategic response. The UK must therefore ensure its deterrent is flexible enough to counter threats across the entire spectrum of conflict, from minor incursions to existential threats. The current situation is a stark reminder that history has not ended. The peace and stability that Europe has largely enjoyed for decades cannot be taken for granted. Russia's actions have demonstrated a willingness to overturn international norms and to use the threat of its immense nuclear arsenal to achieve its geopolitical goals. For the United Kingdom, which sees itself as a key pillar of European security, this new reality demands a clear and credible response. It means looking at the nation's defenses, particularly its nuclear deterrent, and asking whether they are still fit for purpose in this more dangerous and unpredictable world. In response to this shifting security environment, a significant change is being considered within the UK's Ministry of Defence. The plan involves acquiring a fleet of F-35A Lightning II fighter jets. But these would not just be any jets, they would be specifically configured to carry nuclear weapons, specifically the B-61-12 guided nuclear bomb. This would mark a profound shift in British military strategy. For the first time in over 25 years since the retirement of the WE-177 freefall bomb used by Tornado jets, the UK would once again possess an airborne nuclear delivery system. This move would reintroduce a capability that was once a core part of Britain's Cold War posture. This is not a small adjustment. It is a fundamental diversification of the UK's nuclear deterrent. For a generation, that deterrent has been entirely sea-based, resting solely on the Trident missiles carried by the Vanguard submarines. Adding a nuclear-capable air force would create what strategists call a dual-capable deterrent. It would give the Prime Minister more options in a crisis. Instead of a single, massive response from a submarine, the UK would also have the ability to deliver a more limited, flexible, and perhaps more politically usable nuclear strike from the air. This change reflects a new way of thinking about what is needed to deter an adversary like Russia in the 21st century. The decision to pursue this capability is driven by the need for greater flexibility. A submarine-launched ballistic missile is an ultimate weapon, a strategic tool designed to inflict catastrophic damage. An air-delivered bomb, while still immensely powerful, can be used in a more tactical sense. It could be deployed to destroy a specific, high-value military target without necessarily escalating to an all-out strategic exchange. This provides a crucial intermediate step on the escalation ladder, giving a potential aggressor pause for thought by demonstrating both the capability and the political will to respond to a limited nuclear attack in a proportionate way. Re-establishing this airborne nuclear role is a complex undertaking. It requires not just buying the jets, but also training the pilots, developing the procedures, and ensuring the command and control systems are absolutely foolproof. It represents a significant investment and a move that will be closely watched by both allies and adversaries. It signals that the UK is taking the renewed nuclear threat from Russia with the utmost seriousness and is prepared to make major changes to its military posture to ensure that its deterrent remains credible, effective, and capable of keeping the country safe in an increasingly uncertain world. The F-35A Lightning II is not just another fighter jet. It really represents a leap forward in military aviation technology. Its most famous and crucial feature is, of course, its stealth. The aircraft is designed with specific shapes, materials, and coatings that make it incredibly difficult for enemy radar systems to detect, track, and target. In a potential conflict with a sophisticated adversary like Russia, which possesses advanced air defense systems such as the S-400, this stealth capability is not just an advantage, it is, quite frankly, essential for survival. It allows the F-35A to penetrate deep into contested airspace, reach its target, and return safely. A mission that would be nearly impossible for older non-stealthy aircraft. But beyond its stealth, the F-35A is a real powerhouse of performance and technology. It can fly at supersonic speeds of up to Mach 1.6, which is about 1,200 miles per hour, and it has a combat radius of over 600 miles, allowing it to strike targets far from its home base. What truly sets it apart, however, is its incredible suite of sensors and data processing capabilities. The jet is essentially a flying information hub, collecting vast amounts of data from its surroundings, processing it, and sharing it with other friendly forces on the ground, at sea, and in the air. This gives the pilot and commanders an unprecedented level of situational awareness, turning the jet into both a lethal weapon and a powerful intelligence-gathering asset. The specific capability that interests the UK is the F-35A's ability to carry the B-6112 nuclear gravity bomb. This is a state-of-the-art weapon, an upgrade of an older design that now includes a guidance system, making it far more accurate. The F-35A is designed to carry this weapon internally in its weapons bay, and that is a critical detail. Carrying weapons internally preserves the aircraft's stealthy profile, unlike older jets that had to carry bombs on external pylons which would light up an enemy's radar screen. This combination of a stealthy platform and a precision-guided nuclear weapon creates a highly credible and effective tactical nuclear delivery system. Therefore, the F-35A is in many ways the perfect tool for the job the UK envisions. It combines the speed, range and survivability needed to overcome modern air defenses with the specific modifications required to deliver a modern tactical nuclear payload. It is a multi-role aircraft, meaning it can also perform conventional missions, from air-to-air combat to ground attack, making it a versatile and cost-effective investment for the Royal Air Force. The selection of the F-35A is not just about acquiring a nuclear capability. It is about acquiring a platform that ensures this capability can be effectively used in the high-tech battlefields of the future. For decades, the UK has placed all its nuclear eggs in one basket, the submarine. And there are, honestly, very good reasons for this. A nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, or SSBN, is the ultimate guarantor of a second strike. Its ability to disappear into the depths of the ocean for months on end makes it the most survivable part of any nation's nuclear forces. Even if the country were subjected to a devastating surprise attack, the submarine on patrol would remain untouched and ready to execute its orders. This ensures that an aggressor can never be confident of escaping retaliation. The sheer, overwhelming power of its Trident missiles provides a powerful and unambiguous deterrent against an all-out attack. However, relying on a single system, no matter how powerful, creates potential vulnerabilities. The world of military technology is never static. Advances in anti-submarine warfare, such as networks of underwater drones or sophisticated satellite detection systems, could one day threaten the invisibility that submarines currently enjoy. If an adversary ever developed a reliable way to track the UK's patrol submarine, the entire national deterrent would be at risk. Furthermore, the submarine deterrent is a very blunt instrument. Its use represents the ultimate escalation, a step from which there is likely no return. This makes it less credible as a deterrent against smaller-scale aggression, such as the use of a single tactical nuclear weapon by an enemy. This is where an air-launched system, like the F-35A, offers a different, complementary set of advantages. A fighter jet is a more flexible tool. It can be used to send a powerful signal without firing a shot, simply by being visibly deployed to bases in a crisis region. Its mission can be more precisely tailored to a specific target, providing a proportionate response that a massive ballistic missile simply cannot. However, jets have their own vulnerabilities. They are based on airfields, which are known, fixed locations that are vulnerable to preemptive attack. While the F-35A's stealth gives it a high chance of penetrating enemy defenses, it is still more vulnerable during its mission than a submerged submarine. The key insight here is that the weaknesses of one system are covered by the strengths of the other. An adversary planning an attack would face a much more complicated problem. They would have to simultaneously locate and destroy the silent submarine on patrol, while also being prepared to defend against a stealthy air attack. This creates a deterrent synergy. The submarine guarantees a strategic response to a major attack, while the jets provide a flexible response to a more limited one. By having both, the UK would ensure that its nuclear shield has no obvious gaps or seams that an enemy could seek to exploit. The United Kingdom's security is really inextricably linked to the NATO alliance. The principle of collective defence, Article 5, states that an attack on one member is an attack on all. By adding a nuclear-capable air arm, the UK would significantly enhance its contribution to NATO's overall nuclear posture. The alliance has long relied on a mix of nuclear forces provided by its three nuclear powers, the United States, the UK and France, as well as the US nuclear weapons hosted by several other European allies, which can be delivered by their own aircraft. By re-establishing its own air delivery capability, the UK would be adding another layer of strength and resilience to this collective shield. This move would also improve what military planners call burden sharing within the alliance. The United States currently provides the vast majority of NATO's nuclear capabilities, including the B-61 bombs used in the nuclear sharing arrangements. When a major European power like the UK invests in its own sovereign air-delivered system, it demonstrates a serious commitment to its own defense and reduces the reliance on American assets. This is a powerful political message, especially at a time when questions are sometimes raised about the long-term commitment of the US to European security. It shows that Europe is willing to do more to provide for its own deterrence. Having both sea-based and air-based systems provides the UK, and by extension NATO, with greater operational flexibility. In a crisis, different nuclear options could be used to send different signals to an adversary. For example, visibly deploying nuclear-capable F-35S to a forward base in Eastern Europe would be a very clear and deliberate signal of resolve without having to change the alert status of the submarine fleet. This gives political leaders a wider range of options to manage a crisis and de-escalate a situation, rather than being locked into an all-or-nothing choice. This flexibility makes the overall deterrent more credible because it becomes more usable in a wider range of scenarios. Furthermore, operating a system like the F-35A, which is also flown by many other NATO allies, enhances interoperability. British pilots would be training and operating alongside their counterparts from countries like the US, Italy, the Netherlands and Norway. They would use similar tactics, procedures and communication systems. This deepens the military integration of the alliance and ensures that, in a time of crisis, different national forces can work together seamlessly. The decision to acquire nuclear-capable F-35s is therefore not just about national defence. It is about strengthening the UK's role as a leading military power within the most successful defensive alliance in history. While the strategic case for a dual-capable deterrent is strong, it does come with significant challenges. The most sobering fact is the sheer numerical imbalance. Russia possesses the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, with an estimated stockpile of nearly 6,000 warheads. The UK, by contrast, has a stockpile of around 225. This disparity means that the UK can never hope to match Russia weapon for weapon. Its deterrent has always relied on being minimum but credible, just enough to guarantee unacceptable damage, not to win a nuclear war. This principle remains, but the renewed Russian aggression puts it under greater strain. Another major challenge is the UK's continued reliance on the United States. The Trident missiles carried by the Vanguard submarines are leased from a shared pool with the US Navy. The proposed F-35A capability would also depend on American technology, namely the B-61-12 nuclear bombs, which are US weapons. While the UK would have control over their use, the underlying hardware and support infrastructure are American. This is a pragmatic and long-standing arrangement, but it underscores the deep interdependence of the two allies. Maintaining this special relationship and ensuring its reliability is absolutely critical for the future of the UK's nuclear deterrent. Recognizing these challenges, the UK has already begun to take significant steps to modernise its entire armed forces. The government has committed to increasing defence spending to 2.5% of GDP, a significant boost that will fund a wide range of projects. This includes the construction of the new Dreadnought-class submarines, which will replace the ageing Vanguards in the 2030s, ensuring the sea-based deterrent continues for another generation. It also involves expanding the Royal Navy's fleet with new frigates and support ships, enhancing the UK's ability to project power globally and protect vital sea lanes. This modernisation drive extends beyond ships and planes. The Integrated Review, the UK's key strategic document, also calls for investment in new technologies like artificial intelligence, cyber warfare and space capabilities. The size of the army is set to be increased, reversing previous cuts, and readiness levels are being improved to ensure forces can be deployed more quickly. The acquisition of nuclear-capable F-35 should be seen as one part of this much broader effort. It is a single important piece in a larger puzzle designed to equip the UK with the military tools it needs to navigate an era of renewed great power competition and to uphold its commitment to national and collective security. The jets are not a silver bullet, but a vital component of a comprehensive strategy for a more dangerous world.